Welcome to this video where we'll be diving into the setup of a basic IT infrastructure lab designed for a small company scenario. In this video, I'll walk you through each part of the system, starting from the hardware and software that power the infrastructure to the web tool that serves as the end-user interface. We'll also cover essential elements like server setup, operating systems, and networking basics, such as IP addressing, which is crucial for getting everything connected. Additionally, we'll discuss the role of IT support, who they are and what their job is in maintaining this infrastructure. And of course, we'll wrap up with some final tips and takeaways that will help you solidify your understanding of what goes into a functional IT system. Disclaimer: please note that this video is for educational purposes only. The demonstrations and setups shown here are meant to illustrate the various roles and components involved in building an IT infrastructure. This may not represent the best practices or optimal solutions, but rather the author's understanding of the topic. Do not replicate any of the demonstrations in a production environment without consulting a qualified IT expert and considering cybersecurity concerns first. Let's get started. Now that we've introduced the basic concepts, let's take a closer look at the lab setup itself. This is a simple, yet functional IT infrastructure designed for a small-scale environment, like a startup or a small business. Now, let's break down the specifics of our lab setup. In this infrastructure, we'll be using 3 virtual machines, each with a unique role. These VMs will be provisioned using Oracle VirtualBox on a physical computer that has enough resources to handle the load. Here's a quick overview of each VM. First VM, end user. This machine will run Oracle Linux 9 with a GUI. It's allocated 2 CPUs, 2 GB of RAM, and 30 GB of storage. This VM represents the end-user machine that connects to the internal web tool or service. Second VM, support similar to the first VM. This one also runs Oracle Linux 9 with a GUI, 2 CPUs, 2 GB of RAM, and 30 GB of storage. This VM is intended for the IT support staff, giving them the same environment as the end user but with privileged access to manage the server and resolve any issues. Third VM, the server. This server runs Oracle Linux 9, but without a GUI, as it will be managed via command line interface, CLI. It is provisioned with only 1 CPU, 1 GB of RAM, and 30 GB of storage. This machine hosts the actual web server, DNS server, and other services needed to support the internal web tool. All of these virtual machines will be running on a physical host with sufficient resources, ensuring smooth performance for the demonstration. Here's a simple diagram illustrating how everything is connected in this lab setup. At the center, we have the server running Oracle Linux 9. This is where the magic happens. It hosts a single web page that serves as the internal web tool or service we're offering. The web server and DNS server are running on the same machine, helping us manage both the service and the network. The end user, which could be a workstation or device in the network, connects to this internal web tool. The network configuration is key here. Devices get their IP addresses, the DNS resolves any domain names for communication, and firewall rules ensure that only authorized traffic can reach the server. At the center, we have the server running Oracle Linux 9. This is where the internal web tool resides, served by a web server and managed through a DNS server. The server handles all the requests from end users, who are able to connect to the internal web tool from their devices. The role of IT support is crucial in this setup. Support staff have privileged access to the server, allowing them to manage and make necessary changes, whether it's updating the web tool or addressing any issues raised by the end users. This access is controlled to ensure that only authorized personnel can make adjustments to the server and its applications. The support team can also monitor the firewall, troubleshoot connectivity issues, and respond to any problems that arise with the system. In this way, IT support ensures the proper functioning of the infrastructure and resolves any concerns, all while maintaining the security of the environment. Before we wrap up, here are a few final tips and takeaways that can help you as you work with IT infrastructure setups like the one we've discussed today. Start simple. Don't feel pressured to create a complex infrastructure from the get-go. Begin with a basic setup like the one we've demonstrated, and expand as your needs grow. Understand your roles. Each role, from end users to support staff, is vital for maintaining a smooth and functional infrastructure. Make sure that each user or admin has the appropriate permissions and responsibilities to keep things running efficiently. Security is key. Always ensure that your network is secured with proper firewall rules and access controls. Only allow the necessary traffic and always review and update your security measures regularly. Resource allocation. When provisioning virtual machines, make sure to allocate resources, like CPU, RAM, and storage, according to each VM's purpose. Too much or too little can impact performance, so balance it carefully. Monitoring and maintenance. IT support plays a key role in troubleshooting and maintaining the system. Regularly monitor performance, address issues quickly, and keep everything up to date. Learning environment. Remember, this setup is for educational purposes. It's a simplified demonstration that may not follow all best practices, but it gives you a good foundation to build on. Always consult with IT professionals or cybersecurity experts before applying anything in a production environment. Keep experimenting. IT infrastructure is a constantly evolving field. Keep experimenting with new tools, configurations, and strategies to improve your skills and stay up to date with industry trends. By following these tips, you'll be well on your way to understanding and building more advanced IT infrastructure setups. I hope this video has provided some clarity on how to create and manage a small-scale IT environment. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.